In this training, we're going to show you a very common workflow and automation that people ask. And as a matter of fact, you will see in our live trainings that we come back to this one quite a bit, but we wanted to do it again and make sure that it's really clear how to create an Instagram or Facebook automation when someone comments on any post or a post and with a specific keyword or any keyword at all. And so we're going to do that. Now, before I dive into this training, this is going to assume that in your settings, under integrations, you have already connected one or multiple Facebook pages. You have to make sure you have a Facebook page that is connected as well as an Instagram account that is linked. And you want to go into settings to make sure that you have connected those and both in Instagram that they're turned on and Facebook Messenger. That's a requirement. These will not work unless that is taken care of. Make sure you go through our first steps training or reach out to our chat team or make sure that you've done our onboarding and they'll help you get those things up and running. But now that you have that set up, or assuming that you do, we're going to go through the process of creating a workflow that responds when someone comments a keyword on a post. So under automations, we're going to click create workflow. We're going to start from scratch. And we're going to label this Instagram comment. Save our workflow. And now we're going to click add a new trigger. And again, let's think through it logically. What do we want them to do? We want to respond automatically when someone comments something specific on one of our posts. So I'm going to click add new trigger. And I'm going to type in Instagram. And you'll see right away, you'll see Instagram and Facebook comments on a post. And that's the one we want to use. Now, again, everything I'm going to show you will work for Facebook or Instagram. We're going to use it on Instagram, but the same approach will apply to Facebook. So I'm going to select Instagram comments on a post. And we're going to say comments deets. So Instagram comments, and we're going to use the word deets. That's going to be our keyword. Okay, and we're just doing this to remind ourselves. So next we have to select our page. And if you've connected multiple pages, remember for each page, we're actually talking about your Facebook page, but each Facebook page is linked with an Instagram account. So as long as you've linked your Facebook page with your Instagram account, this will work. As always, for more information on that, check our first steps training, check with our chat support team to make sure that you've got that all set up and running. I'm going to use our social connector page, which is connected to our social connector Instagram account, so this will work. Next, it's going to ask, do you want it to be on a published post or custom? Currently, what we always want you to use is published. Then we're going to give you the option here, and you can have this respond to a specific post. So maybe I have a specific post I want to use. So best hooks, I could use this post, and I can even view this on Instagram if I'd like to. And there's the post that we're talking about if we wanted to use it. Or I could actually turn off this filter and then this will automatically work for any time someone comments on my Instagram social connector account. So for us, we're going to go ahead and do this on a specific post. And let's just go ahead and use this post here. And then we're going to add one more filter because currently, again, remembering that all of our triggers start from broad and get narrowed down through filters. And so we're going to say now it's going to be through a published post, which happens to be this specific post. So it'll only work if they comment on this post, but we want them to comment a specific word, and that word is deets. So we're going to click add filter. We're going to select contains phrase or matches exact phrase. I'm going to use match exact phrase for this. That means it has to be exactly as I type it in any variation that I create, but it has to be exactly as I type it. Whereas contains phrase could be the entire sentence and it contains a portion of what we wrote. So I'm going to say matches exact phrase. And you'll see we can do up to 5 of these. So I'm going to do deets, enter. And then I'm also going to do capital deets, enter. And I'll even say details, enter. And so that way, any of these will work. Now you'll notice if you are using Facebook or Instagram, you can turn on track first level comments. That means if someone replies with your keyword, this will not apply to them. It only works with the initial. And so I like that. We're going to leave that on. And we're going to click Save the Trigger. And now you'll see our trigger's ready. And what we've built is if anybody comments on this specific post right here, then, and they use one of these phrases, then it will automatically reply as long as it's the first level comment, meaning it's not a reply to someone else's comment. Great. Now we're going to save our trigger. Now that we have our trigger that has got them in, they took the action of commenting, we need to set up our replies. So the first thing we're going to do is, what do we always want to do? If someone comments on our post, we want to reply to their comment. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to type in the word comment, and you'll see under actions, we have reply in comments. I'm going to select that. And here is where we get to do some randomization. So we can have multiple replies that we want to use. That way, everybody who replies gets a different response, which is really good. That's what we want. So I'm going to type in the reply, details coming your way, and I'll do a little quote, coming your way. I'll say, you got it. And I'll say, check your DMs for the deets. And I'll even put a little, let's put a little emoji here with a wink, because we use deets. Add a new response. Maybe I'm going to say, yes. Make sure you check your IG DM for my message. Sending now. Okay, and you can just keep building all of these. If you're on Facebook, you could actually turn this on and you would actually like their comments as well. But we're not going to do that because we're on Instagram, so we're going to leave that alone. Save the action. We're going to click Save. And you'll see we're going to respond to their comment. That's the first thing we're going to do. Next, we want to send a message. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click the plus sign. And there's a very specific, now if you'll notice, if you see I type in Instagram, you'll notice there are two types of Instagram actions. One is an Instagram DM and one is Instagram Interactive Messenger. The difference between these two is that you need to understand that Meta has specific rules about sending messages that have not been solicited. Specifically, you cannot send a message to someone if they haven't sent a message to you within 24 hours. That's an Instagram rule and a Facebook rule, and we can't get around it. So if you were to select Instagram DM, this message would not go through because it's going to look for the fact that the person has messaged you. And if they haven't messaged you, it'll reject this message. But Instagram Interactive Messenger gives us an additional option that Meta makes allowances for. So I'm going to select Instagram Interactive Messenger, and you'll see this is exactly what we just talked about, all the information here. But you're going to see that we have the option of two different reply types. One is that they reply to the comments, or to continue the conversation if you've used recent reply to DM in comment, and you'll see what that means in a second. The other is reply to DM. So we're going to be replying to their comment. Facebook and Instagram allow for one message to be sent, hopefully to elicit a response with every individual comment that's been sent to us. So because they did recently comment, we now can send them one message in hopes that they'll respond. And so we're doing something and we're saying, hey, I just made this post. If you want the deets, I'll send you information. Now you have several options when you're doing this, and we're going to show you the basic ones. But our goal always, with anything we do, right? Our goal is to get people into conversation as well as get them into our CRM. That's what we're always trying to do. So there's lots of ways to do that. I'm going to show you the basic way to do this. So we're going to send a reply and we're going to say, hey, saw your comment. Just click below if you want me to send you the details. And now we have a choice. And you could just send your link here that would send them directly to fill out your paperwork, your form. You totally could do that, but sometimes it's better to earn the right to have more conversations. So now we have two options. We can give buttons, which are specific buttons that'll show up directly under your message. And if you did that, you could create a button here that's maybe it's a link to your form. So it could open a website and the button's going to be click here for the deets. And then you could enter the link to your form. Right? And so maybe your form is here. So /my form, right? So maybe your form is here. Okay, that's one way you could do it. You could add a button, they click it, they go fill it out. When they click it, that's considered an interaction, and Instagram and Facebook will allow you to send them another message. That's what the beauty of buttons and replies do. Maybe they don't reply to your message, but if they click a button, it is considered interactive, and therefore it will allow you to send your next message. Okay? That's why I often recommend using a button or a quick reply. And I really do like quick replies. All right. And so the next thing you need to know is there's what's going to be called a default wait step. What will happen is the system will wait 1 minute. And if there's nothing that replies to your message, well, let's just show you. So if we use the button approach and I click save action, you'll see now we have two branches that are created. The first branch is a default timeout. The second is, did they click that button, click here for details? The default timeout says they went past the default time of 1 minute and they didn't respond and they sit here. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. You're not allowed to message them because you're past your one message, so you can't do a follow-up here. So what we recommend you do is to add a 1,440-minute wait. That gives them a total of 24 hours to respond, which is your window, which is what we want to do. So I'm going to add a 1,440-minute wait, save. So if the person doesn't respond, they're going to go down to this branch, and maybe you add a tag that says cold Instagram lead or something like that, but you're not allowed to message them again per Instagram and Facebook policies. If they come down this path, it's because they've interacted with your message, and therefore you have the right to do other things. So you might want to put, so if they click and they went to your form, you might want to put a wait step here and maybe wait for, I don't know, 30 minutes. Click save action, and then maybe send them a follow-up message saying, were you able to get that form? That's one of your options as well. Or you could use quick replies. And I really like quick replies because they are guaranteed messages. So you could say something like, saw your comment, just want to make sure you still want the deets. And then maybe put a little emoji here. That is your down arrow. So let's just say down and something like this. And instead of using a button, we use a quick reply. And that quick reply very simply they are messages that are automatic. It's almost like you're giving them the template to reply with. So maybe quick reply 1, we call this yes. And so the reply looks like this. Yes, please send me the info. Please send, right? Because you're limited to 20 characters. So yes, and maybe you could go deets please, right? Or something like this. And maybe the other one is that maybe it's a no. And you could say, no, thanks. Anyways, no thanks. Right? So now we add these quick replies. We still leave our 1440, and it gives us a couple options. The difference between a button and a quick reply is these are actual messages that they are sending to you. The beautiful thing is either button gives you the right to message them over a 24-hour period. Now, our system is very smart. And what is our goal again? Our goal is maybe just to collect their email and then we'll send them the information. So our system is built that if you can get them to put their email into a message to you, it will automatically update their Instagram account in your CRM, the platform, social connector, with their email address and you'll be able to message them. So I'm going to save my workflow and I'm going to show you a good message that you could give them. So if they say yes, we're going to click now we can do message, and we can just use Instagram DM if we'd like, because they have sent us a message, so it'll work. Or you could use the same message, which is totally fine. The difference is an Instagram DM will not give you branches. It'll just give you a wait period. So I'm going to use the Instagram DM because I can send more if I want. But I'll show you how to do it with the integrated interactive message. All right, Instagram interactive message. And this time it's going to be reply to DM because they messaged us back. And we're going to say, great, I just need your email address and I'll send you all the info. We're going to come down. We're going to give that 14. This time we'll do 1400 and 40 minus 20. 40 minus 20 is 20. So we'll do 20 and 40 minus 60 is going to be 1300. 1440 minus 60 is going to be 1380. And that's going to give us 23 hours. So we have a little bit of time to message them again because remember, we get a 24-hour window. And we're going to click save. And you'll see now it just gives us that default timeout. I wanted you to see that because nothing will happen if they message. Nothing's going to happen. It's just going to jump down and we won't know. But what we could have done and what we're going to do is we're going to delete and we're going to add a message and we're going to do the same thing. And I want you to see the difference. We're going to add Instagram message, but this time we're going to use Instagram DM. And we're going to say the same thing. Great. Just reply with your email so I can send you the details without blowing up your messenger, your IG. We're going to click Save Action. There's nothing else to do here. Save Action. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you another wait step. If they reply, it'll be great. So we're going to do this. We're going to click wait and we're going to click wait. But this time we're going to play wait for reply or 23 hours. Okay. So we're going to wait for their reply. We click time delay. Scroll down to CRM events and it says contact reply. We now will choose the step, which is the only step we have here. And we're going to click Instagram DM. This is why it's important to label. I should have labeled this, but it'll work for now. And we're going to give it a timeout of 23 hours. When I click Save Action, we immediately have two branches. One is, did they reply? Two is, has it been 23 hours and they didn't reply? If they have replied, I'm going to save our workflow. If they have replied within that 23-hour window, it will come here. If they didn't reply, it will come here and we have a chance because we have 24 hours. I have a chance to do one more follow-up. So I could send another Instagram DM and I could call this my follow-up. And I could say, just checking back on this. Can I get your email so I can send you the deets? And then we'll click save. And then we'll wait. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to cheat. We're going to copy this. We're going to copy action here. And instead, we're going to say wait for or 45 minutes. Okay, and then we're going to change to 45 minutes. And I know this is complicated, but this is what we're doing as we get more and more into our workflows. And this time, instead of this message, we're going to do our follow-up message. That's why it's good to label. We'll click Save Action. And Now we'll have these things. We won't be able to send them any more messages, but I'll show you what we're going to do on this side, and it's going to be great. So we'll save our workflow now. Now, like I said, we asked them for their email. We asked them here when they replied, and if they didn't, we tried one more time. If they replied, we're going to actually put a wait step in. I know that sounds strange, but just give me a second and you'll understand it. We're just going to wait for 1 minute. Okay. Actually, we're going to show you our next item. Wait for email or 1 minute. Now, or let's say 1 hour. And here's why. We're going to use another wait type of step. You'll see that wait steps are super powerful. So this time we're going to wait for a condition. We've used reply, and now we're going to use condition. What is our condition? Our contact details, email. We're going to see if they gave us an email. And we're going to say, is not empty. So we're going to sit here and wait for the email to not be empty. Or we're going to wait 1 hour. If they replied and their email isn't empty, they'll automatically move forward. If they replied and there is no email attached, it's going to wait 1 hour and we're going to tell it what we want to do next. So we'll click save. We're going to save our workflow. And again, let's explain what we have here. They replied to our message, and then it came here and it sat for until the contact doesn't show an email. Now you say, Jeremy, how would it know? Our system is smart, and if they replied with an email address, it will automatically update their contact and their email will be added. That's how they'll know. That's how we'll know. And once their email gets added, it's going to immediately move down to our left branch here that says the conditions are met because the email was added. If they reply and there's no email added, it will sit here for an hour and it'll come down to this side and it says, hey, it doesn't seem like we have an email. So now what you could do at this point is you could follow up with a DM in Instagram. So you could do another Instagram DM. And if you wanted to, you could give them a link that has all the deets. You could totally do that. And you could say, thanks. I sent the full info to your email. Check for an email from and put in your email. Okay. And then, or you could just click here and get some of the info right away, and you could put in a link. These are your options. And we'll click save, and then obviously you would send an email, and you'd add your email here. All right. And then over here, what I'm going to recommend you do is another action. At some point, you shouldn't automate everything. So what I would do is after 1 hour, I would add a new action. And this is one of my other great actions. It's called internal notification. This is for you. This is a notification to you that says, hey, somebody's in your workflow over here, and you need to be notified that something's going on. In this example, they did reply, but it doesn't look like they sent an email. We can't figure this out. So you should check this out. So we're going to use, you have 3 types of notifications. One is email. We'll send you an email directly to your email address. One is notification, where we'll notify you on the Lead Connector app on your phone, which is the one I recommend. Or text message, which would be I would say this would be good, better, and best. Or you could send yourself a text message that says, hey, to your regular phone, that says, hey, check out this important notification. I'm going to click notification, and we're going to say, check Instagram comment workflow. And I'll even say for, and we're going to put in the contact name. And then we're going to say, here's the message you received from, and we're going to do contact name. It doesn't appear to be an email, or something went wrong. And then I will do this. I'm going to show you another custom value, message. And we're going to select custom values. We're going to go back and we're going to click message and we're going to choose message body. And this will automatically put in whatever their reply was inside of Instagram. So you can read it from the notification. You can open up the Lead Connector app and reply there, or you can open up Instagram and reply there, and you'll be able to go from there. So we're going to click Save Action. Oh, sorry, I need to add who the redirect is going to go to the conversation. So it's going to take us right to the person. And the user is going to be all users, because most of the time it's just going to go to you. You're the solopreneur. And click Save Action. And now we have an amazing workflow that replies to their comment. It says an Instagram DM after it replies. It waits for them to reply. If they do reply, it checks to see if there's an email, and then it follows up with that. If they do reply and it doesn't have an email, it lets you know that you need to check because something's gone wrong. If they don't, it sends out another message. And the final thing you could do is you could copy this action here, and you could do the same thing you did before, which is send out the DM, copy the action, send it here, copy the action, send it here, and do the same follow-up if you need. And that, while a long training, that is how you build a pretty complicated but powerful comment replier for Instagram or